He's the commissioner of the PGA Tour. He's Jay Monahan, who is joining us here. We got some rain in the forecast here, so they sent the golfers out about an hour earlier, and wind and rain is coming in. Do you have the final say-so, Commissioner, if they were going to delay, postpone?
We have a lot of smart people we have a meteorologist and a group of rules officials that travel week in and week out and are used to dealing with situations like this, and we have every confidence in them.
What about the wind? If it's raining, no lightning, no thunder, but let's say the winds get up to 35
It all
miles
comes
an hour.
down to safety, and you're
Okay.
over. This is unique in that you're over 3 golf courses, but the safety of our players and the safety of the amateurs and fans will be the consideration point for the decision that's made.
And being the commissioner of the PGA Tour, like it's the one sport where you can be the commissioner and also be able to play.
Yes.
And, as opposed, Adam Silver is not going to be playing basketball. He can't dunk. Your handicap is a 5, so you could go out and be respectable and play with Phil Mickelson.
Unlike what just happened
Yeah,
over
that's
there.
true.
Yes,
I wasn't going to mention that, Commissioner. I was not going to.
Well, I think that, listen, I think that this sport, it's a generational sport. When Dan Patrick has a big birthday, he decides that he's going to, of all the opportunities he has in his life, he's going to come out to Pebble Beach and play golf with his friends. And whether you're 10 or you're 80, this is a sport that you can play for your entire lifetime. And I think this event, more so than any other, because you're pairing the world's best players with leaders, celebrities, people that are really passionate about the game, really illustrates that in a way that's powerful.
Every commissioner is looking at the next generation. Baseball's toying with extra innings where you start a runner at second base to speed up the game. Everybody's talking about, the NFL and how do we speed up the game. The end of an NBA game, how do we speed up the game? Yours is different. You're not trying to speed anything up, but you're also trying to attract that next generation. So what is the strategy for that?
Well, I think in today's day and age, everybody's trying to do what they did last year faster. And so you have to look at what faster looks like in your sport, and faster leads to innovation. And we've announced a format change in our tournament in New Orleans, and we're constantly thinking about what we can do within the field of play. But as importantly, you got to start with your fans, and what do your fans want to consume? What do they want to see with Jordan Spieth and from Jordan Spieth and our top players? So it's really a matter of how you're producing your tournaments, showcasing your tournaments, distributing your content, and those are things that are very dynamic and we're constantly thinking of. And
okay. But you look at the NFL, they're toying with things. They opened up the offense. Baseball, they brought in the fences. Basketball, the three-point shot. You can't put your hands on an offensive player anymore. Can golf do anything where you're making it more? We've seen some 59s here. I don't know. Like, what do you want, if I was going to say offensively for golf? Aside from the equipment or the golf balls, or is that the innovation that's making it more interesting?
Well, I think what you want is competitive friction. You want to have, if you have 156 players here, you want to, when you get to Saturday and Sunday, you want to have what we've had for the past couple of years, which is 10 to 12, even higher number of players within 2 or 3 shots as you come down to the end, because that competitive friction draws interest. And I think right now we have balance across our membership. You've got great players, great international players. And I think if so long as there's competitive friction, there's going to be great interest in the sport. But to your question, is there some big gotcha, some big change that is on the horizon that's going to that's going to change everything? No, the sport has proven that over time it's the format as it stands, a 72-hole stroke play format always pulls out the best players. And there are small tweaks we'll make, but we're very comfortable with the structure of our competition.
Would you ever have a standard golf ball that's used? Because I don't know if it's the golf ball or the equipment, but we're starting to see guys just take apart, certain par 5s where you're hitting a driver and a 9-iron. It's not the way golf is meant to be played. What would make you nervous as we move forward with the technology? Is it the golf ball or is it the clubs?
Well, I think if you look at the data has not changed too significantly in terms of driving distance and the player that's on the bottom end of the spectrum to the longest driver over the last 10 to 12 years. That's something we monitor closely, the USGA and RNA monitor closely. But sure, if you got to a point where technology, innovation led to golf courses becoming truly obsolete, then you've got to make a change. But I think in working with all the other golfing organizations, we're very comfortable with where the game is. And distance and power coupled with finesse are attributes that fans love to see. It's very aspirational.
He's Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour. If you could have a Tiger, another Tiger, or let's say 5 guys who were sharing majors.
I would listen. I think what Tiger has accomplished in his career, to have an athlete that's in the greatest of all time conversation, that's a once in a generation talent, is an absolutely spectacular thing for any sport. So it's you'd love to have that at any given point in time. At the same time, this sport has demonstrated we either have that or we have what you just said, which is a group of stars that are emerging, that are highly competitive, and you fluctuate between who's the best at certain times. And I think what we'd like to have is what we have right now, which you're in a period where you have those group of stars and you don't really know who's going to emerge as the next big star. And I think not understanding in some cases is better than understanding, because that draws interest to your sport. And I think the beautiful thing is you just mentioned 4 or 5. We could go down the list and get to 12 to 15. And you also add players like Hideki Matsuyama from Japan. What he's doing for this game over in Japan and the interest he's creating at the same time that we're creating interest here with him and through these other stars, it's phenomenal. I mean, we're very lucky to have that.
You grew up in the Boston area?
I did.
Red Sox fan?
Red Sox fan
Patriot?
And a former Red Sox employee.
Okay. Patriots?
I'm everything, but we'll cut right to it. I love every Boston team.
Did you give up on the Patriots on Super Bowl Sunday? You're down 25.
I was highly concerned. Yes.
Were you still watching?
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding?
Okay. There are a lot of people who didn't.
I'll tell you a great story, and I've told it to a bunch of people. My father turned to my daughter and told her to take a picture of the scoreboard. And she said, why? My daughter's 13 years old. And he said, because you're about to watch the greatest comeback in the history of sports. So that's a memory I'll never forget.
Do you always get golf applause? Like, does anybody ever give you regular applause if you do something well, or is it
Well, I think what we just experienced over there is generally the kind of response I get, which was absolutely
that was no applause.
Yeah, it's great disappointment.
No applause. We see the environment at the Waste Management, the Phoenix Open. Can you replicate that? Could you have another event on tour that had that feel to it?
Well, it's interesting because we get that question from every other sport and from all of our tournaments, and everyone sees what it is.
Yeah.
And everyone would like to get to those size crowds, that level of interest, that return for charity, that level of excitement. I'm not sure it's possible. That is, you're talking decades of work in that community to get to that point and to build something that's so culturally significant there. So,
but you have the audience playing, the gallery is playing a role.
Yes.
And normally the gallery doesn't play a role in a golf event.
Not to that degree, I would agree.
Yeah.
It's very unique in that respect.
Would you want to have another one somewhere else on tour?
I think having one separates that event and makes it truly different. I'm not so certain. I think every event has to have its own identity. That one has its, and I think there are certain tournaments where you obviously have great following and great energy in the crowds. But that event's truly unique.
Yes, Paulie.
All the Danettes have everyman questions for the commissioner.
Oh.
As commissioner of the PGA, do you have the power, and would you use the power to make sure they never remake the movie Caddyshack? Do you have that kind of pull?
Never remake it?
Well, they did Caddyshack 2.
Which was embarrassment. Your predecessor should have taken care of it. Could you use your power to make sure they never remake Caddyshack 2 with the cooperation of the PGA?
I would. I don't have that kind of power. I'm sorry to report. Yes.
Wow. Yes.
But as someone that's watched that movie over 100 times.
Yes, Eaton.
What is your position as white belts as an accessory on tour?
Very good question.
White belts as an accessory.
I have a problem with it.
There are certain players that can pull it off, and there are certain that can't. It's like any fashion accessory. To each his own. And I think that's a personal decision.
That's fair.
Do you want to call out any of the golfers do you think shouldn't be wearing a white belt, Commissioner?
I am not prepared to do that at this point in time.
Yes, Fritzy.
Yes.
I can't hit a golf ball for the life of me.
Neither can I.
It's created a great fodder for everyone. Is there a miniature golf course near Pebble Beach that I can take a look at? Just to work my way up from windmills and clowns' noses to eventually maybe actually hit something?
I think before you go to an actual physical miniature golf course, you may want to spend some time online, maybe playing some simulated golf. And then once you get to a place where you feel like you're comfortable, call me and we'll get you a good
I
spot to go to
appreciate that.
wherever you are.
That's a
in this
great
country.
idea.
Yes, McLovin.
Do you think Julian Edelman's catch was one of the greatest of all time? It was only first down. We're having a huge debate behind it. It's not Lynn Swan.
Well, listen, you go back to the David Tyree catch, and obviously I'm a Patriots fan. And that, to me, I still wake up at night, in the middle of the night sometimes in a cold sweat, thinking about that play. And to me, those two catches are highly comparable. I think everybody from New England thought about at that point in time. And I would say that those are the two greatest catches of all time.
Commissioner, thanks for stopping by. And,
Thank you.
And good luck.
You can always take
Hopefully you
luck,
got a
Dan.
long
Thank you.
tenure, and we appreciate you joining us.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.